Hey everyone, it's Sensei Victoria Whitfield here, your journey partner in business, welcoming you back to episode 123 of the Journeypreneur Podcast. This is your source for channeled holistic stress management techniques, guidance, inspiration, and motivation to stay on your path to rapid financial ascension and massive impact as a conscious entrepreneur. So the title of this podcast episode is Stand Out to Impact. And I'm so excited to get to introduce you, my good friend, Spring Zheng. Welcome, Goddess.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Hi, thank you, Victoria.
So good. So you can find Spring, everyone, at springmagiclife.com. And she is an abundance thought leadership coach. Now, Spring, this may be the very first time that someone is getting to meet you or learn about you. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about what you do as an abundance thought leadership coach, but especially what are the 3 things that you're known for? Could you tell us?
Wow, cool. Thank you for asking me that, Victoria. I'm so happy to be here to share. And actually, when people ask me what I do, right? Often they say, what's your superpower? What's your superpower? What makes you outstanding? Really, the number one from me is my genuine and authentic love to you, abundant love to all of you, to everyone of, just over the world, right? Not just human beings or animals and everything in this world. So it's really like abundant love, that kind of a blessing. Every day I can feel that kind of presence overflowing from me. So that's my number one superpower.
Yeah.
The second one, yes, really my faith, believing in what I'm, really carrying on this mission. I'm blessed by God to really help visionary entrepreneurs and life changers, to help them step up for their call and stand out in the market to make great impact and also attract their dream clients and really help to create the abundance of all worldwide. So that's my mission, and also my superpower and gifts to help other people. And another thing you mentioned about 3 things, right? The third thing is really my power of helping people to uplift their vision. Normally when people are standing this level, right, we always have our like blind spot. Everyone have that, and at a certain different times of your life you always feel like some like maybe limitation or some blocks, but I always have that kind of power to help people uplift your vision and see beyond your current situation and really understand your the greatest call to fulfill in your life. Yeah, that's me.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
I love it. I love it. And this is what we need, especially as entrepreneurs, right? To be able to be lifted up in our vision and inspired to go to that next level. Absolutely.
And keep going.
Yeah,
And never give up.
yeah, never give up on the journey. Stay
Yeah.
on it. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm curious, like there's gotta be a backstory. Like what inspired you in the first place to become an abundance thought leadership coach? Like what inspired you to start your business? Could you tell us that story?
Yeah, and especially at this time, right? This kind of a coronavirus special crisis time, and now it's triggering financial crisis, everything like that. And now really help me to recall the time when I started my coaching business. Let's say 11 years ago, 2009. Actually,
Yeah.
I was still working in a corporate Fortune 100 company in the downtown Manhattan. Every day I could go to the beautiful piers and have my dreams, right? But suddenly life changed during that financial crisis. As a director of performance management for the Fortune 100 company, I had a great performance appraisal, but then I lost my job during that crisis. Oh my goodness. So it totally like interrupted my previous corporate career view, right? Because it's like I was on the right track. Everything, I was an excellent student. I graduated from executive MBA and get my director's position. So I thought, and I was earning 6-figure income as well. So I was thinking that my life will go, up to the higher ladder of the corporate. So everything was like in the plan. And then suddenly everything changed. I lost my job. I said, "Ooh, what should be the next step, right?" And the financial crisis really bring you the reality, the cruel reality. Even Fortune 100 company cannot have the security. And then I also during that time did not really feel that kind of fulfilling. that kind of joy anymore. I said, oh, why I was working there, I could not really find a clear purpose or meaning every day. And then actually then right after I lost my job, I found that kind of secret joy. I said, wow, it's like something finally I get to change in my life. I was immediately get some excited, excited. I finally, then I used the 6 months to do the like a self-discovery and the research, everything, reflection and the coaching people. Like I hired a career coach to help me as well. And then we eventually found my purpose, what's my passion, and I really want to become an entrepreneur, to become a coach. Actually, a coach during that time when I was just started, I was a happiness coach to really help people to do what they love, find a purpose, and really own their happiness in their life. So I started, and step by step, I transformed, through the 11 years of learning from the masters, say my masters, Tony Robbins and Dean Grossi. And through all these kind of masters, I learned from at least 10 or 12 coaches and masters from the industry, and keep growing. And my niche transformed as well, and until I finally really fine-tuned my niche is really as an abundance soul leader to help other visionary entrepreneurs stand out to make the impact. So that's my story. But that's really the biggest story yet. That's just my beginning story. So the really toughest story for me is that like really the darkest time for my life. And I share that in my book, Abundance Train. And I hope after this interview, people can really get a free copy of it from my website. It's really that my darkest time is really like when I was struggling for my marriage crisis after 20 years of like really soulmating, beautiful love. And we had a big family and 2 lovely kids. But then I just found I was betrayed, and it's biggest shock of my life. And I almost really tried suicide to give up my life. And then really by God, thank God for his grace, he brought me back, really resurrected from the darkest, the horrible hell journey. That's really like a hell. So it's like a hell in the world. And through that darkest time, through five, 6 years, that's a quite a long time for me. And I finally resurrected and re-stand out, because I truly, through that biggest challenge, I found my faith and my mission. Never and ever is really so strong and bigger than my life. So the greater mission is greater than our own life. When I forget about what I'm suffering about, but the mission I'm called to fulfill in this world, and so many people I could help, and I forget my pains and I stand out. So that also led me into further abundance. Then I found abundance in my own life, and I could enable other people, to empower other people to find their abundance as well. So that's my journey. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's amazing. That is so good. And you know what? There are people who may be listening or watching in right now who are in that similar, like, difficult, dark time, uncertain times. I mean, like,
Yes.
as you said, right now, as we are recording, we're in the midst of the uncertainty with the coronavirus. I know I'm in New Jersey, Spring, you're in New York. Is that right?
Yeah, New York City. Yeah. And New York City now is the biggest threatened area. And every day it's like horrible news. And we even heard about one of our friends, right, in the coach industry. One of our friends also are suffering, so we're praying for their families. So this such kind of tough time.
100%. And with that being said, with so many of our friends and family who are going through like the struggle, and especially as entrepreneurs, to keep the faith and to keep believing, right? What would you say, right? Do you have any advice for someone who's like, you know what, this is too much, or I don't know what to do. Maybe I should just throw in the towel on my dream. Maybe I should stop being in business. Maybe God has not called me to do this. Like, what would you say to someone who's on that edge of leaving the journey? What would you say?
Wow, gosh, I just want to share the same inner journey with you all. Through my 11 years of entrepreneurship, don't you think I did not get that kind of moments? And actually not just one time, many times, especially when I shared, right, in that 5, 6 years of like marriage crisis, struggling, that kind of hell of journey. almost every day I was thinking about, I was even tried to suicide, right? That's like, I even want to give up my life, not just my passion. I want to give up everything, even my most loved kids. It's like the pain was so heavy and so strong. It's like bigger than my capability to take. During those times, I thought many, countless times. And I really like kneel down, like kneel down on the ground to pray every day with the tears all over my face. I could not imagine how I passed through that kind of journey, because when you were in that kind of dark moments, you really thought this is the end of the world. I could not get out. It's really like everything is so overwhelming. It's beyond you. You could not take it. But that's the right time. You really need find your true source of wisdom, your true source of strength. And that's when I kneel down on the ground and pray and connect myself with God and rebuild up that relationship. Because really afterward, I realized that's a really right trial and right time. God wants me to rebuild up the relationship with him and to really find my true source of wisdom and strength and love and unfailing love. Really, during that time, I thought there's no true love. I did not believe in love anymore, right? But then I found that true love within myself. Even though my life partner betrayed me, but I still have that unfailing love within myself. So love never fails. And I would encourage you at those darkest moments, reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your true, like super intelligence or whatever you call. For me, it's God, right? You can call your super intelligence or your, like universal intelligence, anything you call that. But connect yourself with that unfailing source. And then you will regain your power back. And whenever you think about it, you want to give up, you need to keep deep inside and do the Dean Graziosi introduced that, right? He taught us about the seven levels steps, 7 steps deep, and to really connect dig out what's your why, what's your true why. Even the first level you think, oh, this is a why, but think further. What's the next why? And then what's the next why? 7 levels, you find your true why, the deepest why you will never give up. And that's the core, that's your true meaning of your life. And that's greater than just a life. And that's your unique core.
It meant so beautifully said. So good. So good. You know what? Now more than ever, it's time for us to root down into our faith, root down into our truth, to call back up on sources of support that maybe we haven't been connecting to, right? Our spiritual basis.
Yes.
That maybe we had forgotten along the way, but with the kids, with the business, with marketing, with all of the relationships,
all the entrepreneurship duties, right?
Yeah, here we are on the roller coaster. Yeah, but this is the gift that spirit never goes away. There's always.
This is the call. This is really the call. Should be the call of your business. Whatever you do, however you could be, without this call, this strongest faith and belief, you could not go far. So I would always recall us, whenever especially you have a struggling and doubt of yourself, get back to yourself. You need to really master your mind and your soul.
All right. And so it is. And I love it. And I want to make sure that people can keep this going. Maybe they're connecting with you right now and they're saying, oh my God, I love Spring. I want to hear more about her story. I want to hear and celebrate her. Where can we go to celebrate you? I know I'm going to drop the link in the show notes of this video, but you were mentioning before that you have your book, The Abundance Train. If you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, the abundance train, actually, it's really like I've been starting from the very early of my coaching entrepreneurship, right? I started want to write a book about abundance. I took quite a few years, hired an editor, and after we did quite some back and forth work, I get very frustrated. I feel like, oh, this journey will never end, and writing a book is so hard, right? And then I was hit by that crisis in my life, so I paused. So that book never finished like that. And then after I bounced back after a few years and struggling and rebounds back into the abundance, and I restarted, I need really come with this message and really share this message. But I was still not sure how should I really fully express it out. And then guess what? I really like a magical journey when I was attending the ClickFunnels Mastermind on the cruise to the Caribbean. I met my speaking mentor, Clint Arthur, and he challenged me to share my most painful life journey with people. Oh my God, even, the public speaking is already fearful, right? It's very scary to many people. And now I have to speak about my darkest moments and my most painful life story. That's a huge challenge for me. So last year, I took that challenge. I was glad I really stepped into my courage and took that challenge, even though I was so struggling inside myself. I felt feel like a shame. I did not want to share all this kind of story. I just want to hide to myself. And even today, I did not share with my parents, right? Such kind of a secret, painful secret, and including my suicide, everything. And I have to share that in the public. I took that challenge. Guess what? I went to the NASDAQ to speak and get my picture onto the jumbotron on the Times Square, and then I took the second challenge, went to the Harvard Club of Boston, and then we had a public speaking to hundreds of expert summit. I shared my story again. Oh my God. That is a really transformation, through that. I just realized that when you share your vulnerability, share your most darkest time, and then your transformation, that kind of story is really the most powerful story. And that's what your life is meant to. That's your life journey. That's your journey. You earned to share that. And don't hide. Don't ever think, oh, that's too dark. I feel so shameful and so painful. I don't want to share. But you know what? That's a true purpose of your life story. It's really to share it to benefit more other people. And people get so much attached and impact through my speaking. And many of them give me so powerful feedback. And they say, wow, they said that their whole life they will never forget my story. And then I put my story in my book, Abundance Strength. Started with that story, and then my struggling in my early year and how I went through the different transformations into where I am now, and what I'm empowering visionary entrepreneurs to stand out and step up and really make that impact, and including from the story, from a philosophy, and then to really business strategies and practice, best practice through my 11 years. So it's really a great combination in that book. And after my speaking, I just run, right before my summer vacation, I just run one day campaign. And it was listed as the best-selling book on Amazon.
Woo!
And now it's selling $59, right, online on Amazon. And now I put it on my website as a special offer for people, as a free offer. And so you just need to book it and cover the shipment fee, and then you will get a free copy on your hand. So I will share that link with you, Victoria, so you can share with your audience.
Yay! Thank you so much. Oh, so amazing, Spring. I am so proud for you to take the challenge and come for it. Yay, so amazing.
Thank you so much.
So good. And I'm going to make sure that everyone gets that link that's dropped in the show notes, right? Or underneath, if you're watching this on Facebook Live right now, we'll drop that in the comments underneath. And you can also connect with Spring, everyone, at springmagiclife.com. One more time, Spring, thank you so much for coming to the podcast.
No problem. And by the way, Facebook is my favorite platform. So feel free to connect with me on Facebook. So you can see my daily messages and wonderful inspirations. I hope more people could be benefited from it.
Absolutely. And so I'm going to turn this over now to our listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you, Victoria, for this opportunity. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us.
Yeah, thank you. If you're listening in on iTunes, make sure you leave that 5-star review. When you do, this is episode 123. Tell us, what was your favorite thing that Spring said that really touched your heart today? And as we bring this podcast episode to a close, everyone, we say the same thing every single time. Please remember to enjoy the journey. Do not lose your glow as you grow in life and business. And we'll see you in the next podcast episode. Bye, everyone. Bye, Zheng.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.